state comes back and says, sorry, that magnitude of that development is too large?
There is some, well, it depends how the state law is passed. It depends on whether they make it, what effective date they make it, whether they say it's a general statute, whether they recognize any vested rights for pending applications, because it would be a pending application.
What is the trend on something like this? I know they.
There's no, I can't say what the trend is. There's state law provisions that provide for vesting.
Yeah.
And say if you file an application, it's vested and protected. There are state provisions in law that it won't apply. I can't, that's an impossible prediction. The legislature operates with lots of interests that involved there.
So the statute that the state is considering is just to take away the financial incentives?
I'm not familiar with the statute.
Is that the case?
What's not familiar?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit vague in what it exactly does, but it appears to take away any state incentives. It's just unclear as to whether,
So saying if you're gonna
qualifies.
cut down more than 250 acres, then we're not gonna give you the state incentives.
It's actually even broader than that. It says that if you locate a solar array anywhere within a parcel that is 250, a forest that is 250 acres or greater, then that project basically does not qualify for state incentives. So questionably, a residential homeowner who lives adjacent to state managed land, DEM could map their property as part of a quote-unquote contiguous forest. So it's very broad-reaching, and it addresses one subset of issues related to siting it while ignoring everything else.
So there's, on the one hand, you can say that if the state passes, this law, okay, then it's a good thing that we, suppose we turn it down right now. If the state passes this law, then we can say, oh, it's a good thing we didn't vote in the positive tonight because the state shot it down. But the other school of thought is that we're going to let this, do we want the state, does the state know what's best for us? We're going to let this, we want Smithfield telling us that we should be turning down a project that's going to give us $500,000 a year in revenue? Do we want Smithfield telling us that we're going to have to build houses over there now instead of a solar farm? Do we want Smithfield telling us that he can't clear his land? Because that's what we're doing. We're allowing state representatives who don't even really take part in the community, anything going on in our community, to make the decisions on how we're going to multi-million dollar decisions for the town. We're going to let Smithfield decide on it.
And again, I don't let Smithfield do anything for me. It's only information. I want their input. That's all I want, is everyone's input. What's wrong with getting all the input you can? If I don't like something from Smith, I don't like a lot from Rhode Island. I don't like Rhode Island. But I mean, honestly, I really don't.
But
So,
if they pass this law,
that's
telling us,
fine. I don't like a lot of laws.
Right, but if they're telling us, but if they do pass it, this is no longer an option. They're telling us, hey, guess what? No, Smithfield, you got houses there now, and you now have the solar. They're taking the choice away from us if this passes.
Well,
And you never know.
well, and you never know. And she says that they don't have the support. She must know. So what's the rush? What's the rush?
I got to make a motion to extend the time.
Second.
I'm going to extend the time till for another to 10:30.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. D?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mrs. Malinsky?
Yes.
Mr. Pierce?
Yes. Well,
Well, all I'm saying is, why can't we wait? Is it a big rush to do this?
Extend it to our next meeting. The State House will have their
they have a hearing, they're not, it doesn't
They're
mean-
not voting on it
Right,
until.
they're gonna go to all these committees and stuff that, who knows, it could, what's gonna happen when it's in committee? We're gonna just wait around and keep everything in limbo until,
Would 2 weeks give you time to talk to more people?
Well, I think a little time would be good. And, you know, you can vote if you want, but I think that we should get as much information as we can. Better map of the overlay, and just a little more information.
and we're gonna have all that information when it's all presented to the planning board. We're gonna have all the information.
I know. Again, I'm just worried about a grandfather to an application, that's all.
That's what you're saying. So, question initially made to you, the application is put in, right? We let it go by, and then, once it's there,
Based upon some provisions of the state law, the argument would be an application filed would have some sort of rights to go forward. But if the state's going to take this dramatic step, they might cobble or include those applications. That's impossible. I've seen them do both.
I wouldn't trust the state, just so you know. I want to listen to them, but I don't trust them.
Well, once again, then, it's a contradiction, because
It is a contradiction. I don't trust anybody.
right, so we're gonna let them decide, we're gonna let the state pass a law that's gonna tell us that we can't do what we wanna do here. And then, basically what they're telling us then, they're telling Mr. Farrer made it very clear, and excuse me, sir, for being so blunt, but he said the other night to me in private, he feels the clock ticking, he wants to provide for his family. So he's gonna do something up there, he's gonna he wants to put a solar farm, or he's gonna do houses. If we wait and they pass this law, they could turn this, they could make the decision for us, and it's not gonna be a solar farm, then we're gonna be looking at housing. So if you wanna see housing up there, that's, now you're running the risk of if this law passes, then that's what you're gonna get stuck with.
I'd like to see Mr. Farrer develop his land and get whatever he can. I'd like to see him get whatever he can. I'm not opposed to anything from Mr. Farrer at all. I'm just saying, why, I don't want to rush it, and I just want to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. I'm sorry I'm slowing you down, but I just think that it's a good idea to just slow it down. I'm not saying no to anything. I'm just saying, let's slow down, let's get people involved, and just make sure, but not make a mess out of it, not make a war out of it.
so you'd like to extend this meeting 2 weeks?
I'd love to.
2 weeks?
Yep.
Okay. That, you just want to extend it, right?
That's fine. If you want to do that, I'll settle for
All
that.
right, what happens in 2 weeks?
Well,
What do we do in 2 weeks? What do you wanna know?
we'll try to find out everything we can, because a
Because they
lot of
don't have
us,
their plan yet. There's nothing to find out. It hasn't gone to planning yet. So what are we gonna find out in 2 weeks that we don't know now? We don't know all the details because the plan hasn't been presented to the planning board.
Well,
It's not gonna be in 2 weeks either.
well, that's fine then. That's fine. I think just, let's get 2 weeks, let's think about it, let's get some input from some people, and then if, maybe someone can come up with something, you
All
know?
right. We had a public hearing 2 weeks ago, all right, and we didn't vote because we wanted to take in what everybody said. We wanted to listen to what everybody said. We wanted to do our homework, we wanted to do our diligence. We did that 2 weeks ago, and we kept the public hearing open. We listened to what everybody had to say again. What are we gonna do in 2 weeks?
I don't know, I would
If
just,
you didn't do your diligence in the last 2 weeks, if we had 2 weeks to soak in what everybody was telling us, then, I mean, I did.
well, we had more information tonight, too.
We had more.
We had information tonight, too. Like I said, I just want to do the best I can. It's a big decision for both parts. And I don't want to get it wrong either way. I don't want to get it wrong either way.
Well, the law's not gonna pass at the State House in 2 weeks. So that's not gonna happen. They're just in committee right now. That's not, don't even think that there's gonna be a new law in 2 weeks. That's not gonna happen.
Well, that's fine. That'll give us 2 weeks to really figure out what we'd really like to do. Is 2 weeks the end of the world?
It's not, it wasn't, 2 weeks wasn't the end of the world last week either. And we didn't call the vote, so everybody could take in what they had to say. Right? We didn't call the vote purposely last week. So everybody could have 2 weeks to ingest what everybody had to say and do their diligence. Talk to the planner if you want to talk to the planner, or talk to the people, or go to this planning board meetings. That's why we had the planning board meeting when we did. They rushed the planning board, the agenda on the planning board, so that could take place before this meeting. Nothing's going to happen now in 2 weeks. It's nothing new. And this is some source of information that we're going to rely on in the next 2 weeks that we don't have available to us now.
Well, I don't know why it's such a big deal. Why is 2 weeks such a big deal?
Because we're hired, so to speak, to make decisions. We're elected to make decisions. And we're not going to table, we prided ourselves on not tabling things all the time, to make decisions. And that's what we do. We take all the information in and we make decisions. We're going to table this and kick the can down the road? What? We're going to get 20 more emails?
We hardly ever do. We hardly ever kick the can down the road. This is really the first big thing we've had. You know, this has been a real easy council, to be honest with you. This is the first big decisions we had to make so far. And there's nothing, I don't see any big deal with waiting 2 weeks.
All right, I don't either, but what happens in 2 weeks? What's going to happen in the next 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, we can vote yay or nay, if you'd like.
Make a motion to continue.
I'd like to make a motion to continue in 2 weeks.
We have a motion by...
Can I make a comment before
Yes.
the motion made before seconding? Just make a comment for the board. If you want to continue this matter 2 weeks, you may want to continue the public hearing as well. If you don't do that, you're losing your ability to make any amendments or changes to this ordinance. And I just want the council to understand, otherwise we'll have to go back to the advertising.
You want to...
And in addition to that,
You want to hear every...
there's one more issue, Mr. President, I mean to interrupt you. And also the 45-day clock starts ticking. So I just want the council to do that. I'm not trying to, whatever the council wants to do is fine. Just understand you have 2 options, right? Continue 3 options. Continue just this deliberation 2 weeks, that's fine. Continue the public hearing and the deliberation 2 weeks.
That pushes the clock.
Pushes the clock 2 weeks. Or, obviously, vote, but don't just consider the options. Just make sure you're aware of the options.
Is there a motion? Well, what's the motion there? He gave us several options. What's the motion?
Do you want to continue both, Councilman, both the public hearing and the matter?
That's what we should do.
If you want to keep all flexibility available to the council. If you really want to keep all possibilities open, that's what you should do.
Well,
Public hearing. So,
Right, you continue the entire matter, both the public hearing and the pending ordinance as amended.
so you want to...
What you would do is technically you would reopen the public hearing, make a motion to reopen the public hearing right this moment. And then it's open, then you move to continue the public hearing 2 weeks, then you make a motion.
I already closed the public hearing.
No, but you can reopen it as long as you do it now. You can't reopen it in 2 weeks without re-advertising and renotice, but you can reopen it right now if you want to.
Well, we heard 2 weeks worth of public hearing. If you think that somebody, or someone's gonna, in 2 weeks from now, is gonna add to to help you, then make your motion.
I would just love to have the most information I can before I make a decision. And anything I'd like to do, I'd like to make sure that I have the most information I have before I make a decision, especially for the whole town. That's all.
And what, all right, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but we're not going to have more information in 2 weeks
How do you
because
know?
it hasn't gone to the planning board. All right, it has to go to the planning board so we can see what the project entails before we can make a decision. We're only voting on the overlay, passing the overlay district, passing the ordinance. We're not voting on the project. The project still has to go before planning.
I know we're not voting on the project. I just want to look at the overlay. I'd like more time for the overlay. How's that?
So make the motion.
I'd like to keep the public hearing open.
So his first motion should be a motion to reopen the public hearing.
Just, Tom,
Motion to open the public hearing.
it's a motion.
That's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
No.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
No.
And my second motion would be to give us 2 weeks to look at this again and get more information for the overlay.
Better continue the public hearing to a date certain. The next motion needs to be a motion to continue the public hearing. to a
The
date
motion is to continue the public hearing till, what's the next, what's the date? June 4th? No, not June 4th.
Oh, I'm sorry, May. It's May.
Can't be made for it.
No, it's May. What's today? I don't know. The 21st.
May 20th. So the motion is to continue the public hearing to May 21st. That's a motion made by Mr. McGee.
Second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara? No. Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
No.
Now a motion to continue the matter, the pending ordinance, overlay ordinance to May 21st, that's May.
Want to make a motion?
To continue the
All right,
pending.
so you want to make the motion to continue the matter until May 21st?
Right.
I'll second, Mr. President.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All I'm going to say is, how much more information are you going to get next week, in 2 weeks? I think.
Maybe none. Maybe none.
So,
But it's
so
just
next week, so
at least
if there's none, then you're going to be ready to vote.
I'll be ready to vote.
He's going to do his homework.
I'll be ready to vote. It just gives everyone just a chance on a big decision. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to be fair. That's all.
Well, you know, I apologize because I did a lot of homework on this, so I just assumed that everybody knows what you know, but I apologize. So if that's what you want to do. We have a motion. We have a second.
Yes, we have a second.
We have a second. Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli? Yes. Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
No.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
No.
That's not the agenda.
Now, it's all well. I want more. I'm telling you. I respect what you can do. If you don't,
Old business, discussion by council, vote other action, appointments to boards and commissions. Anyone have a suggestion for the sewer commission? No. At this time. Staff, can you please continue that until the next meeting? New business. VIII.ADJOURN, discussion by council, vote other action on a request for an outdoor sound system permit for the Knights of Columbus. Come on up.
Mr. President, Council, the Knights of Columbus are going to be having a car show right here at the middle school on the 29th of July. Since if you do this, and